Now, I know I already made a video on a dark web iceberg, but I was rewatching that video the other day and I realized that I didn't really go very in-depth. So I thought I'd make a video talking about the dark web and talking about a lot more disturbing and deep things. And that's the video that you're watching right now. Imagine for a moment an ocean that covers the entire world. On the surface, you see familiar sites, Facebook, Instagram, Google, sites you visit every day. This is the surface web, the internet we all know and love. But beneath the surface lies an immense, murky deep, the mysterious and often misunderstood dark web. This part of the internet is like an underground city filled with secret passageways, hidden treasures, and shadowy figures. It's a place where anonymity rules, where the curious come to explore, and where the usual rules of the internet don't always apply. So, without further rambling, let's get straight into these new entries. Cybercrime syndicates are essentially organized crime groups that operate in the digital world. Think of them kind of like the mob, but instead of smuggling goods or shaking down shopkeepers, they're dealing in stolen data and malicious software. These groups often have a hierarchy and structure similar to traditional crime organizations, with leaders, specialists, and foot soldiers who each have their own roles. Some of these syndicates are small, but others can involve hundreds of individuals operating across multiple countries. These groups are involved in all sorts of illegal activities online. Some of them create and distribute malware, which is software designed to harm or exploit any computing device or network. Others specialize in phishing operations, where they trick people into revealing sensitive information, like passwords or credit card numbers. They might also engage in DDoS attacks, which overload a website with traffic to make it offline, or ransomware attacks, where they encrypt someone's data and then demand money to unlock it. Human trafficking is one of the darkest and most horrific crimes facilitated on the dark web. To put it simply, human trafficking is the illegal trade of human beings for the purposes of forced labor, sexual slavery, or commercial sexual exploitation. It's modern-day slavery, and it's a global problem. The dark web can provide a secretive platform for the perpetrators of these crimes, allowing them to operate in the shadows. On the dark web, there are websites and networks where traffickers can communicate, trade, and conduct business away from the prying eyes of law enforcement. They use coded language and cryptocurrency to stay hidden. Victims might be brought and sold on these platforms. It's important to stress that while these networks do exist, the majority of human trafficking occurs offline and in the real world. It's a pervasive and deeply embedded societal issue that goes far beyond just the dark web. And human trafficking is one of the most disgusting things humans have invented. My prayers go out to everyone involved in this. A movie just came out about this. Go watch that. It's really good. The dark web is home to numerous marketplaces where all kinds of illegal things can be bought and sold. Among these are the advanced malware marketplaces. Here, hackers and cybercriminals buy, sell, and trade sophisticated malicious software designed to infiltrate, damage, or disrupt systems or networks. This can range from advanced persistent threats, APTs, which are long-term targeted attacks, to ransomware, spyware, and more. On these sites, you can find malicious software that's almost like a plug-and-play tool, meaning even a person with little technical know-how can launch a cyber attack. You can also find custom services where a more experienced hacker will tailor the malware to fit a specific target or purpose. Payments are typically made in cryptocurrency, such as Bitcoin, to maintain anonymity. Blackmail forums are online platforms on the dark web where people who engage in blackmail share information, techniques, and sometimes even their loot. These forums function as a gathering place for these individuals to share tips, celebrate their successes, and provide support to each other. It's a chilling example of the camaraderie that can develop among people engaged in criminal activities. In these forums, blackmailers might share information about potential targets, such as people who are vulnerable due to their online behavior or their access to sensitive information. They might also share advice on how to extract money or other forms of payment from their victims. Some of these forums could also be marketplaces where blackmailers sell information they've gathered to other criminals. As with many other activities on the dark web, these forums operate on anonymity, with members hiding behind screen names and using cryptocurrencies for transactions. Just like you use Google or Bing to find information on the regular web, there are search engines designed to navigate the dark web. These services attempt to index or catalog the dark web to make it more navigable. However, because of the decentralized and hidden nature of the dark web, this is a lot more complicated than indexing the regular internet. Websites on the dark web, also known as onion sites because of their .onion domain, don't want to be found by just anyone. That's why they are intentionally hidden and not indexed by standard search engines. Dark web search engines like Torch, Amia, or Not Evil try to make sense of this confusing landscape. They crawl and index as much as they can to make it easier for users to find specific onion sites. Still, their reach is limited because many sites are purposefully designed to evade these indexing effects. Still, their reach is limited because many sites are purposefully designed to evade these indexing efforts. One of the more disturbing aspects of the dark web is the existence of what are known as digital assassination marketplaces. The idea behind these sites is chillingly straightforward. They're places where people supposedly can hire a hitman to commit murder. Users can supposedly commission a murder, often paid with untraceable cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. However, there's a lot of debate over whether these markets are real or just scams. Many experts believe most, if not all, are just ways for devious people to con others out of their money. Law enforcement agencies around the world also monitor these sites, and there have been several high-profile cases of supposed hitman sites being shut down and their operators arrested. Still, the idea that such markets might exist is a testament to the darker corners of the dark web. Snuff films, according to urban legend and online rumor, are videos or movies that depict the actual murder of somebody, supposedly produced for the purpose of distribution and entertainment. It's an utterly horrifying concept and is often brought up in discussions about the most extreme and disturbing content on the dark web. However, there is significant debate over whether such films truly exist. Most credible sources, including law enforcement agencies and researchers, have found little to no verifiable evidence that true snuff films are being traded on the dark web. In many cases, supposed snuff films have turned out to be hoaxes or fabrications. While most people know that the dark web is a marketplace for buying illegal drugs, it's also a source of information on how to manufacture those drugs. This can range from instructions on how to grow marijuana to recipes for making synthetic drugs like methamphetamine or fentanyl. Sites and forums providing this information are typically hidden and anonymized to avoid detection by law enforcement. They can be incredibly dangerous, as manufacturing drugs often involves handling toxic or volatile substances and can lead to lethal accidents. Have you watched Breaking Bad? Furthermore, the resulting drugs are unregulated and can be extremely harmful or deadly to those who use them. Red rooms. This term has been passed around on the internet, and particularly in darker online circles. It's said that red rooms are places where viewers can watch live-streamed footage of harmful and often terrifying acts enacted on a victim. These acts may be violent, torturous, or even fatal, and supposedly are often carried out as per viewers' requests or payments. However, as chilling as these tales are, they remain largely unverified and unsubstantiated. I have a whole video on this if you want to check it out. There's no solid proof these rooms exist on the dark web. The resources required for live streaming such acts in real time, as well as the incredibly high risk of exposure to law enforcement, makes the logistics of running a red room nearly impossible. Most security experts and seasoned dark web researchers believe red rooms to be more myth than reality, serving as a kind of urban legend on the dark web. VIP scandal networks. There are persistent rumors of platforms on the dark web where scandalous and often embarrassing behavior of celebrities or high-profile individuals is revealed. The content on these sites is said to include everything from leaked personal information to explicit photos or videos, and even undisclosed secrets about these individuals' personal lives. The underlying belief is that these networks could potentially be used for nefarious purposes, such as blackmail or defamation. However, much like the red rooms, there is little hard evidence that verifies the existence of these networks. The information that has supposedly been leaked often turns out to be doctored, exaggerated, or entirely fabricated. It's worth noting that seeking out or distributing this kind of information is not just ethically questionable, it can also be illegal. Extreme body modification. This is a practice where individuals make drastic changes to their physical appearance, often through surgical or non-surgical procedures that fall outside the realm of conventional body modifications, like tattoos or piercings. Some examples include tongue splitting, extreme stretching of body parts like the earlobes or the nostrils, implanting objects under the skin to create a design or pattern, scarification, branding, and many more. On the dark web, there are forums where people share images, discuss these procedures, and in some cases, provide guides or instructions on how to carry out these procedures. It's important to note that such practices can carry significant health risks, especially when performed outside a professional medical setting. They also tend to be societally stigmatizing and can have permanent consequences. Human experimentation. This is perhaps one of the most horrifying and disturbing ideas associated with the dark web. There are claims of forums where illegal and unethical human experimentation is discussed or even documented. These stories evoke chilling reminders of the horrific human experiments conducted by the Nazis during the Holocaust or the infamous Japanese Unit 731 during World War II. If these claims were indeed true, they would represent gross human rights violations. However, much like many dark web tales, these claims are largely unverified and speculative. It's crucial to remember that the majority of the dark web isn't about these horrific things, and many of the rumors lack substantial evidence. As with other aspects of the dark web, a healthy dose of skepticism is advisable when encountering such claims. Organ trade. Stories about a thriving illegal organ trade on the dark web are quite pervasive. The concept is chilling. The idea of someone buying or selling human organs like kidneys, hearts, or lungs on a clandestine marketplace. Many rumors and some media reports suggest that these transactions are facilitated through the dark web, given its anonymous nature. However, like many of the more horrific tales about the dark web, there's actually very little verified evidence to support these claims. In reality, orchestrating an organ transplant involves significant medical expertise, compatibility testing, and post-operative care, making the dark web an unlikely place for such complex transactions. While organ trafficking is a real-world problem, it is primarily linked to corrupt medical professionals, poverty-stricken donors, and organ tourists, not anonymous dark web marketplaces. Unknown secret societies. Another fascinating rumor about the dark web involves secret societies, allegedly using this platform to communicate or to recruit new members. The allure of secret societies, with their mystery and ritualistic practices, captures the imagination. While we know that secret societies like Freemasons or Illuminati exist in real life, there's no substantial proof that they're conducting any activities on the dark web. The dark web's reputation for secrecy and anonymity might make it seem like a perfect meeting place for such groups, but any claims about their presence there are mostly speculative. And even if such societies were present, deciphering their cryptic communications without an insider's knowledge would be a formidable challenge. Unidentified cryptic networks. Among the many mysteries of the dark web, unidentified cryptic networks, or sites that contain seemingly nonsensical data or unidentifiable languages, stand out. Some of these sites could just be elaborate pranks or puzzles created by individuals with coding knowledge to stir intrigue. However, others theorize that these could be coded messages used for secret communication, obscure art projects, or even data dumps hiding in plain sight. Regardless of their purpose, these cryptic networks add to the enigmatic allure of the dark web. It's important to exercise caution, though, as some of these sites might contain malicious software or lead to illegal content. Doomsday information. You can also find an abundance of information about end-of-the-world scenarios or post-apocalyptic survival on the dark web. These could range from detailed survival guides, predictions about potential disasters, to conspiracy theories about governmental plans or hidden knowledge. While some individuals are genuinely interested in survivalist strategies technologies, others are drawn to the sense of drama and mystery that these theories provide. As always, it's crucial to approach such information with skepticism. Many of these scenarios are based on conjecture and fear, not on factual scientific evidence. But if you're interested in wilderness survival skills or off-the-grid living, there's a wealth of legitimate resources available on the regular web without venturing into the darker corners of the internet. Alien/unexplained phenomenon. The dark web, much like the surface web, has its fair share of sites dedicated to discussions about aliens, UFO sightings, and other unexplained phenomena. The anonymity that the dark web provides can encourage more open conversations about these topics, as people may feel freer to share their experiences or theories without fear of ridicule or disbelief. AI-controlled sites. With the rapid advancement of artificial intelligence, there's speculation that AI may be controlling parts of the dark web. Some suggest that AI could be used to manage vast amounts of data, facilitate anonymous transactions, or even manipulate users on the dark web. However, these claims are mostly speculative, and there's no concrete evidence to suggest that AI is playing a significant role on the dark web yet. Mariana's Web. Named after the Marianas Trench, the deepest part of the world's oceans, Mariana's Web is rumored to be the deepest, most secretive part of the dark web. The myths around it suggest that it's a layer of the internet that can't be accessed by conventional means, and instead requires the use of quantum computers. This part of the web is said to contain the world's most closely guarded secrets, from locations of Atlantis to confidential government archives. However, the concept of Mariana's Web is widely regarded by experts as a myth. There's no technology or part of the internet that requires quantum computing to access, and the stories around Mariana's Web likely stem from misunderstandings about the nature of the dark web and quantum computing. Which makes sense, because I don't really know what a quantum computer even is. Internet black holes. Picture a black hole in space. It sucks everything in and nothing comes back out. People say there are internet black holes that do the same thing to data. You try to send information, maybe an email or a message, and it just disappears. No error message, no bounce back, nothing. It's an eerie thought, right? But despite all the speculation, there isn't really any evidence these exist. When data goes missing on the internet, it's usually because something went wrong technically, like a server problem, or maybe the data was intentionally blocked or deleted. Sentient entities. The dark web can seem like a pretty spooky place, and stories about sentient entities or thinking beings living in its depths only add to the mystique. These stories suggest there could be super advanced AI, smart enough to think for itself, or other mysterious beings hiding out there in the dark web. It's an idea that feels straight out of a sci-fi movie, but as of now, it's just that, an idea. Despite all the impressive progress we've made in AI, we're not at a point where we can create a machine that's truly self-aware. The fog, or the Primarch system. Imagine if there was one system, maybe a computer program or network, that controlled the entire internet or even reality itself. Sounds pretty wild, right? This is the idea behind the fog or the Primarch system. People say it's an ultra-secret part of the internet that has total control over everything else. But here's the thing, it's almost certainly not real. The internet is huge and spread out across countless servers all over the world. It's not designed to be controlled from a single point. And controlling reality? Well, that's the stuff of science fiction. So, as fascinating as the fog or the Primarch system might sound, it's pretty safe to say it's just a myth. You find yourself back at the safety of your familiar home screen, the icons on your desktop, the comfort of your familiar bookmarks. They all seem unchanged, innocuous, but now you know. Beneath the calm surface of the internet you thought you knew, there lies a different world. A world veiled in shadows, where truths blend with myths, and the line between reality and fantasy is blurred. In the end, remember this: every keystroke you make, every link you click, each may lead you deeper into the labyrinth of the dark web. Its call can be tempting, its secrets intriguing, but its depths are deceptive. Like an endless maze, it twists and turns, promising knowledge and anonymity while cloaked in danger and uncertainty. As you go about your digital life, as you surf your familiar sites, Remember what lurks beneath. Remember the dark web, a world hidden in plain sight, waiting silently for the curious and bold.